I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here we go.
Okay, so first thing is adoption of the minutes of the last meeting.
Make the motion we adopt the minutes.
A motion and second. Do we have any discussion? Any corrections? Everybody happy? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. No public hearing tonight. No old business. New business. 6A site plan approval minor amendments Native Road Solar. So I guess you're up.
Alright. So we submitted the minor amendment revision, and it included, we moved over the course of the planning of the project, the final design, we moved the access road to more of the center of the property, completely out of the wetland, so we reduced the wetland impact, and we're using more of an existing route that has been suggested to us. That's the extent of the revision, is limiting impact overall.
And now I noticed that 20 was crossed out and 30 was put in. Was that just a typo? Because
Acreage?
acreage. Yeah, acreage.
Yeah, it should be 30. Yeah,
Okay.
I know how that happened. That is correct. It should be 30.
Okay.
Anybody have any other discussion, interest, questions?
Well, really, it doesn't seem to really, other than moving away from the wetlands, which is a good thing.
There was no concerns, Catherine, from anybody else?
No, there's been no phone calls or drop-bys on this project.
Okay. Anybody see any need to go through it step by step or anything, or Carol set?
We've already done that.
So seeing no more, I'll ask for a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the revision on this plan.
All for seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All voted. Corey abstended.
Abstain.
You came all the way up just for this.
I'll take this any day. I'll drive a lot further than this.
6B, basically on the same project. They basically connected. There's really nothing different between A and B. Right?
Yeah, that was just in there because of the zone.
Right. No questions on that from anybody? If not, I'll ask for motion.
I make a motion we accept that portion as well. And B.
All for seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. There.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This little dinner table thing really works.
I know I'm going to go to this house with brought dessert.
So you heard from CMP at all in the sense of when this is?
Nothing definitive. We've been living this way with them since October, December of last year. I don't put it at their feet at all. This whole solar event was really, the legislature put some things in motion that caused this wave. It buried CMP. I don't think they've handled it perfectly, but we don't need to scapegoat them. It's just an overwhelming amount of things for them to do.
Yeah, right.
And it's upsetting the grid. The grid's having to work backwards than how it was intended. Right? We're generating from the outer edges and pushing in instead of from a central plant out. So it's complex. So, no hard feelings. Hard way to make a living.
So we may see you again another 6 months.
I hope not. I hope not. I hope this is an unnecessary exercise, to be candid with you. What we didn't want to do was to race in here in July with the meter running out and having a panic party with you. We're optimistic that we're over the hump, but we don't have anything written yet.
Yeah, okay. Well, good luck with it.
No. Appreciate it.
So that you know, one of the other projects in town has gotten their CMP letter. So it's starting to move forward.
Good. Great. Thank you very much. Good to see you all.
Nice to see you.
We'll do new business 6C, reapplication, request for Pittsfield Solar LLC.
Thank you very much.
I take it? That's you.
We have Michael.
Okay. Evening. So essentially, nothing has changed on your end. You're just resubmitting the same as the initial time.
Yes, the way the state program that the other applicant just mentioned, the way the program is set up is that we can't allow our permits to lapse for any period of time. So that's why we're requesting this extension before our July 15th expiration, so that we can maintain current status on all permits. And nothing's changed. We're in the same boat with them regarding the CMP process. We've been told we should have the approval by September, but they had also told us we would have that by March of this year. So they continue to push things back, and we want to make sure that we have all of our boxes checked for that state program when we get the approval from CMP, and we can begin construction as soon as that happens.
One thing I did see, there was what is it now? Essentially, I think from when we originally did this, sometime during this time, the state has come in with their own policy on decommissioning. So basically that's just taking place of what we had put in place for decommissioning earlier, correct?
Yes. Well, I'm not sure if it's going to necessarily take place of that, but we used the plan that we had proposed to you all back in 2020 as the plan for them. They had some tweaks to it, but I believe the cost is staying the same. I want to say that's a little over $200,000 for the decommissioning bond that we'll have in place. But our plan is approved with them as well. You're correct.
Okay. Does anybody have any other questions, concerns?
Yeah, I just have a question on 8.3, letter E. It says Pittsfield Solar is prepared to discuss with the planning board additional landscaping buffering as necessary. Is that just as the project goes? Or?
So I believe back in 2020, there were concerns from a butter in the northeast corner of the project, and they requested some additional screening, and that's shown on the plan there.
Okay.
Commander. Commander Commodore was here.
Okay.
So we should address the two items that the planner brought up, just to clarify the wetlands part and how much of the project's in it, and that DEP has approved this. So we should take care of that item.
Okay, which one? Which number was that? I remember seeing it. But,
It was in his email.
oh, was it? Yeah, it was in here someplace.
So Michael, if you could explain about how much of the project is in the wetlands and what the DEP has approved, because that would be after the initial approval.
Yeah, the DEP has approved the entire project. We have 2 permits with them. There's the stormwater permit by rule, which governs our stormwater requirements. So we're approved there. And then we also have a Natural Resources Protection Act Tier 3 permit that is good for 4 years since it was approved back in 2020. And that is a more detailed wetlands permit than is typical for a solar project, because a good portion of this land is in I forget the technical term for it, but it's a wetland meadow. So if you get to the site, it's something you can easily walk through It's not real standing water or anything, but it is classified as a type of wetland. And there's going to be about 1/10 of an acre of impervious impacts to that due to some of the poles being in the ground and a small portion of our access road. But the majority of the access road and all of the equipment pads are going to be outside of that wetland area. And again, it's something that the DEP is fully aware of, and they reviewed it thoroughly and approved that permit.
Does anybody have any other questions on the wetlands? What was the second part of it,
The
Catherine?
second part is, Joel pointed out that the scenic overlay
Okay.
that runs along that area was something that wasn't really addressed before. As you come in town.
Isn't that
the
long,
scenic
isn't that the
area.
one near that arc, that scenic overlay?
No,
Is
I think
is
that's
this
flood
the
zone.
overlay from the highway?
Yes, it's one of those, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I believe we're about a little over a half mile from that intersection. And these panels are going to be pretty low to the ground in comparison. I think our highest point is 10 feet off the ground.
I remember one of the things we discussed was FAA, because it was close to the airport, and they signed off on it.
Yes.
So the scenic overlook is considered off of the Interstate 95, correct? So, we're just trying to, I guess you can see it that way. If you dare take your eyes off it.
Watching the highway.
You better watch the highway.
That's what you'd rather do than drive.
You're here most probably better than here.
You can see the belfry on
Yeah.
MCI, but I don't know that you can see this field.
Yeah, you'd probably have to stop and pay attention, especially when leaves are off or something like that.
Well, then, yeah, maybe then.
Yeah, we're supposed, when we drive on the road, we're supposed to be looking at the road.
Right.
Exactly.
Those are pretty good.
I don't see any pull off there for a scenic view.
Yeah,
Trying to think out, come over.
because you'd have to be looking
Almost.
right just before the Webb Road crossing, where you can see in, and at that point you're driving. You could look and see over towards the MCI, but to see over there, you really have to look right up 90 degrees off the interstate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've got a beautiful view of MCI, but
It
that's what
is.
you would look at.
Does anybody have any concerns with that?
I don't think so. Not really. I mean, it's
Let's just continue to be a solar farm town, man.
I know it used to be a egg farm, now it's a solar farm. We should have the solar festival every
I
year.
don't think, well, there's a lot of towns now that are surpassing that, especially if you go by panels or acreage or whatever,
Yeah, my hometown, Harmony, they've done all kinds of things,
No kidding.
yeah.
You all can
No
put on your
brother,
website that you're the sunniest town in Maine.
What was it?
Excuse me?
You can put on the website that you're the sunniest town in Maine.
There you go.
Not about 2 hours ago, it was pouring rain. So I guess if there's no other concerns, I guess I would be open for a motion.
I'll move.
Walter makes a motion. Do I have a second? Simone seconds.
We're the first and seconds here.
No other discussion?
You're next.
Okay, so we're all out of it.
So I guess we'll vote on for the reapplication request. All in favor?
All right.
Nobody opposed? I think everything passes. So we're all set.
We're good.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Discussion items. That's you?
Catherine, are there any more solar farms in the discussion at all?
One has received all of its approvals and just got its CMP permit and is getting ready to move forward. The building permit is coming in.
Which one is that?
That's the one behind the hospital, the one
I saw
off
the
Route
sign.
100,
Yeah.
Oh,
originally
okay,
to
that's
come
what-
down Davis.
All right, so
Road.
no new ones,
No.
no new ones.
Right.
No new ones yet. There's been several phone calls, but nothing has happened.
Okay, thank you.
I think that warrants discussion.
Huh?
Well, solar farms, I think it warrants discussion on this.
Yeah. I guess.
I
some-
mean, the door's open now, right?
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know.
So
Don't some towns restrict acreage and,
I'm not sure.
They do, yeah.
yeah, they do. I think Detroit does. I think they restrict acreage and.
One thing that we have to do is, it's nice that they get the decommissioning, the bond, but all they have to do is not pay the bond and then it runs out. So other towns will require them to put money into an escrow account. So you don't want a huge sum of money, but if the bond is just not paid, the town can be left, you know, if it's an out-of-state corporation
Right.
and they don't pay the bond and they take off, we would have to sue them to get this taken care of, then you'd be left with the remains of a solar farm.
That's concerning. I mean, you start 30, 40 acres of solar panels.
Right.
What do you do?
So that's something to look at. That's the only thing I could see. Using your site plan review ordinance is like the equivalent of having a solar, you know, ordinance. So we don't need another ordinance. We would maybe beef up a couple of sections.
Right.
But the state requires a bond, right, or something, but money.
Right. In here, that's why I noticed, you know, state, since we did it originally, the state's come out and said.
Right. Yeah, it's
Required.
gonna have to be, I don't know, where it's escrowed or whatever it might be, but.
The DEP has become more demanding on that decommissioning
Right.
language.
Is it affecting Jimbo, or, and it was in the past because it was your own property, but,
On Snake Route, they did require, and I don't remember the ins and
Right.
outs, but it was additional. They on the initial review, they asked us to relook at the decommissioning document and reevaluate those costs, and they were very stringent on what they required.
You
Had to estimate all the labor and equipment and everything that was required to remove all
To
to
decommission.
do the actual decommissioning, to estimate what that was
And you
going
had
to
to
cost
put all that
in
in,
the future. What's that?
and you had to put a bond up for that?
I don't remember exactly what, if it was a bond or how it was enacted, but yes. There was.
Well, I feel very confident that Chimbro isn't gonna sit there and, unless the hands change, I guess.
Well, that's the thing.
Hands can change, but
Sell.
the
But all
investment
that,
is
all the
kind of,
responsibility conveyed with that?
I'm sure it does, yes.
Well, I mean, are we 100% sure it does, or? And these things have been sold multiple times, right?
Sure.
well, I mean, we can't go back on this stuff.
I understand that, but, moving forward, we better have it covered.
It seems like there should be some other
I think
options.
that was all laid out.
Yeah, I know. $200,000 today to decommission is $1 million.
I was
Like
just
20
thinking
years
the
ago.
same thing after
Right.
this year, double the price. of
Yeah, I
things.
mean, who knows? If it,
Yeah.
you just rolling the dice on that one.
But just throwing out my opinion, and you're talking about future projects coming in, I think that's going to slow down a lot. Just because of the backup with CMP, it's just not, it's not attractive anymore. Nobody wants to go through the trouble of doing all that permitting, all the cost of doing that permitting. I think that solar development is going to slow down a lot. And it's not going to end, but it's going to slow down.
Right, I just,
Yeah.
20 years from now, what it's gonna look like.
they'll push harder on the prime spots,
Sure.
for
Closer to
connectivity.
substations, yeah, the easy, low-hanging fruit.
And, combination of, right location, right price, and, things of that sort.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Simone has something she wants to bring before us.
I shall read this because I was thinking logically when I wrote it. I did talk about it at the the meeting
Couple
before.
meetings ago.
Yeah. The town spends a lot of time and money putting together our packages that they send us, or that they hand deliver every month. Or you said 8 times a year?
I'm thinking there'll be 8 monthly meetings probably as an average.
Okay, so Catherine estimates 8 meetings a year. So, and then delivering them personally, and that was before gas went up, but, I don't know how you can even measure that right now. So in addition, each board member receives the same package by email. We get it by email, then we get it in a package. It's wasteful. I just think there's time, energy, money that's not used as efficiently as it could be. Because those are real people doing that work. So I make a motion that the members of the board receive their packages by email, as we do currently, and that we bring our email packages to the meetings and work with them as other towns have done. As part of this motion, I also propose that the town of Pittsfield purchase tablets for the use of each member, which would remain the property of the town. So those tablets would be, just for our use on the board. This will save the cost of materials, the time spent to copy, and the gas and time spent to deliver them to each member's home by the code officer. And I spoke with Catherine about it, and she did a rough estimate. You can only estimate roughly, but she did do a little research. And right now, putting the packages together, she did it for a whole year. Putting the packages together for a year is $800 just for the labor. I take it, right, Catherine?
Yes,
that's just for the
that's
labor.
the cost if I do it, but remember I'm salaried, so there's no extra cost. But
that's real cost, it's
I
not
know,
like you don't have
it's an
anything.
opportunity lost to do
Right.
something else.
And then paper for 2 to 5 applications each time that we meet, at about 40 pages each, is $44. I think that's pretty conservative. And then the deliveries for 8 meetings, 1 hour each, is $400. So the total to do the job that they're doing right now, every meeting, is $1,244. But for the year, I'm sorry. Now the purchase of a basic Chromebook, 11.5 inch, at $200 each, is $1,800. And then loading the planning board Gmail for each member, set up the computer and staff, the time for 9 computers would be about $500. So the total would be about $2,300. So right now, we're spending $1,244, and we would spend twice that to buy the computers. So they would pay for themselves after the first year. That next year, they'd be paying for themselves. And the thing is that during this time, now Catherine just said she does these, and she's the town manager. This isn't an efficient use of that person. I think this is a small investment for the town to make. I think it's going to be more generous than what we think, the savings. So that my motion is that the town change their way of getting the minutes and materials out to us, which they do anyway with the email, and that would be done. And then we have time to look at everything over on the tablets. Tablets have a nice view, and then we can raise our questions. And
If we go forward on this, funds to do that,
It's not currently budgeted.
Right.
We can budget it for next year.
Okay.
I mean, we've already got a budget item right here.
so I just curious, so
Still have to go through the town council?
Yes,
Yes.
through the budget process.
yeah,
We've already got the cost, and then I can use this for the town.
they might decide to do the same thing.
Yeah, I think they will. The one item I've been asking the applicants to do, they'll come in with any number of copies of their documents. I mean, anywhere from 3 to 12, and they're supposed to bring in 12, which works out good to have a couple for the public to look at, a couple for the records, and then all of you have them, and I have one. So that works out good. I've been asking them for a PDF.
Yes.
If we have a
I
PDF
saw
of
that.
everything, then we can send it to you very easily.
Right,
Yeah, we've talked about that.
yeah.
And if we're going to do that, then I'd say to add to that,
Exactly.
have, when you're submitting for your site plan, do,
Everything.
there's 12 copies, like you said,
Yeah.
and just do electronic.
And there again is another unnecessary.
Right.
Well,
Submit 2 or 3 hard copies, so
Right.
have in the
Right,
office, but
exactly.
the rest of it can be electronic.
Have hard copy and then possibly a hard copy here for the meeting. That way, if somebody needs to look up
Yeah.
something, you know.
Design engineers would like that too.
3
so that's
hard
important for them, just
copies were all
PDF.
set.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
and materials.
Right, yeah, and it's just do electronically.
So rather than go forward and change the ordinance, which would cost some money, we can just put a little notice in the ordinance to provide a PDF, once we go over to the system, and I'm asking them to do a PDF now along with their copies. That way we'd have the PDF that can be sent out, and some of you would just use that, but some people, like myself, who are visually impaired, can't use the computer to read on. We've got to have paper. So there's going to have to be a few paper copies for people.
Well, you were saying you'd need about 4 copies
We
anyway,
have 4.
but
we would
eight
need total.
will be eliminated.
Yeah, at
One
least
of-
one upstairs for official, one down here, and a couple for the public.
Yeah, it's possible I might be interested in a hard copy. That way, possibly I can go through and make some.
Notes.
No, not because it's probably possible on a tablet and everything, but I'm not a daily computer person. So.
Right.
Yeah, just
You'll be the first one to come in and show us how it works.
I'll tell you a cute story. The council decided there was too much paper after somebody came in and said we had too much paper. So they decided there would be no copies for anyone. So then one by one, each councilor called up to myself, discreetly and asked, drop me by a copy, because it's hard to do this. So we got up to everybody had a copy.
So how do you read stuff? How does the town council read stuff then? If they don't have paper?
What they're doing now is some of them they ask for the paper copies, and then some are just getting it and they're reading it on their phone, which I find very difficult, or they're reading it on their own tablet. But I noticed that when they read it on the tablet, some of them also have a copy. They run off at their workplace. or
Okay, so
home.
they're doing it themselves.
Yeah.
So they're using their own, this is voluntary service and they're volunteering their own type of communication and such to use that.
Yeah, some of them are, yes. And then some I make copies for some of them.
Anybody else have anything else?
I guess I'm sticking with paper. The bottom line is in this way that how this is developing, and I just see that that's just much easier. And
Would you be interested in having both, so you possibly might get used to one or the other? Yeah, or get used to it. Yeah,
tonight, no. My answer is no.
Okay, well, because
Tonight,
if we're going to do it, we're going to have to get them for a full council, anyways.
Right.
Because or full board.
Because we'll pass it.
Because depending on if you leave the board or whatever, the next person might want it. So it doesn't make sense not to have enough. And if somebody.
Then the history will be in there for the next person.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I guess-
Who would be the tech person to manage those in the sense of issues? And
Well, we would have to, I assume it will be, right now it would be myself, but it could be somebody else that would work on it. It depends on the talents of the staff and how much time they have. I can upload, like we would make a Gmail for each of you, planning board 1, at etc.gmail.com, planning board 2, Pittsfield. We would set that all up, and then that would be in the little tablet, and then you'd have that. So they'd have to be set up so they would have the ability to pick up the signal, of the internet down here. So very basic, and do everything would be a PDF. So then we wouldn't have to buy the other programs, which is how we can do the tablets so so cheaply. Usually when we got the counselors, a couple of those for counselors, it was a lot more expensive.
Because,
So we would make it very basic.
so they would still, if at our personal residence, they would pick up the Wi-Fi on your personal residence to download there. Right, okay.
And then here it would pick up the Wi-Fi.
Right.
You get used to them pretty quick. I'm on 2 boards that use them.
Yeah.
I hate them, but they're not that hard to use. You can pick up on it pretty quick.
Well, I'll tell you, I never thought I would ever touch a computer. And I went to work at Chimberhome. There really wasn't any choice. So I had to learn. And I remember thinking, I'm not going to make it. They're just going to have to let me go. And I was amazed. I thought I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing the right thing. So I guess I was smarter than I thought I was, or the computer wasn't as smart as I thought it was. And then, I mean, after a while, it was just what we do, you know.
Yeah, so, you know, I use a computer for certain things, but like my email, like last week, I think I looked at it on Sunday or Monday, and I never looked at it again until Friday night because, you know, I'm just busy doing stuff. And generally, at this point, nothing important is through my email.
Right, but see, it would be only the town stuff on there.
Right.
So.
No, you know.
Yeah.
So one of my things I was going to tell you that, you know, if there is something for me you need me to come in and sign, probably the easiest thing to do is give me a call or send me a text or something. That way, otherwise I just don't, you know, I go 4, 5, 6 days sometimes without looking at my email because
Sure.
I don't use it for daily anything.
Right.
You know, most of what comes in on email is junk, and
Oh,
I don't get my email for nothing.
Yeah.
My wife,
Let me check for you, Tom. Okay.
she opens her email, and if I'm staying there, what the? I mean, there'll be 50 or 60 emails
Oh, yeah, I get that.
a day.
Yeah.
I get upset if I get 6 or 8 a week. You know, I go to a lot of places and they say, well, what's your email? I don't give it up.
Yeah.
Well, you don't. I said, I don't want crap. You know, that's what it is.
That's exactly right.
If only I got 50 or 60 emails a day.
Yeah,
That would be good. I
Yeah.
only have 6,000 in a couple of months. It's crazy. You can't even get them all into their folders.
I don't
You save all those?
By law, I have to. If I delete them, I have to make a copy.
Oh,
Man.
So you need pretty good storage.
Yes, as you can see.
even snail mail. I don't go to the mailbox for nothing because I don't have no more bills.
It's all junk mail.
Well, you know,
Right now it's all political.
So I'll submit this for the budget for you.
do we want to vote on this? So I guess
I
we
make
have
a
a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Brent seconds it. Any more discussion?
Is she gonna submit that there, or is that,
Or
did you submit it?
well, you've already
Yeah, I sent you
right.
one.
You sent me one, so
I can send you, do you want one, Catherine? A copy of the motion? Doesn't matter.
Oh, sure, that would be
Okay.
great, thank you.
For discussion, just one thing that
Sure.
I see, I think that being able to zoom in on a tablet, you know, if we're looking at the plan,
right.
you know, if it's printed on paper, you're
Yeah.
a
Right,
slide to
it's
whatever.
already, yeah, it's already.
If it's not readable, you can zoom in
Okay, yeah.
on the PDF. That will be a
It is
benefit.
nice, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a concern the town will have where it's a town thing and about getting them back for people that, you know, leave the board or things of that sort. I guess,
It'll be the same thing as with the books and everything.
yeah, so, you know, I know.
We would have a form signed, just like we do for the staff.
Okay. So I guess we'll ask for vote. All in favor?
I'll say this.
All right.
Well,
if they say no.
still have a copy, so.
Go on record, Jane.
So this is voted okay, and now we'll,
Change, more change in this world.
you know, go before the town council and go from there.
Yeah.
Those geez, I can't say the word. I'll try the word correctly.
Pneumatic.
Merrill, I want to say, when everybody agrees to it, I was trying to.
Unanimous.
I can't spit it out right. Oh, wow.
Have you ever tried to say linoleum 3 times?
Linoleum.
And then we did that
I'm
one.
doing better than that one. Unanimous. There we go. Oh, that's embarrassing, but anyways.
Oh, gee.
Is there anything you wanted to bring up tonight, Catherine?
No, I am all set, very, very busy getting ready for the election.
Is it the school budget the only thing on the ballot? Or?
On the school budget and then the state primary.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I guess there is.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah,
Aye.
And we have a lot of papers to be signed. We've got the plans from the last meeting.
Welcome. Start signing.
all of us have to sign things?
Yes, so all the plans are here. And then these are all the letters for Tom.
So these are just me.
Yes, and we know your signature, so you'll notarize it.
Catherine, I'll have to send it to you from home.
Oh, no problem at all.